Good morning and happy Friday, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. I want to see if Nicole is on. Who we got on here? I'll introduce your names as they pop up on the screen, but I want to welcome you and thank you for investing time into yourself and to getting better. Yeah. And if you're a team leader or a broker on this call and you corralled some agents on to watch this too, man, I give you so much credit because that is absolutely the right thing to do. And I thought I'd start today by sharing a very short, quick story. I think it's important and relevant to what we're doing and why we're doing it, and also talk about, again, what is the purpose of this program, why we're doing it. And we've got a special guest we're going to bring on today.
Yeah, very excited.
And so I'll tell you a quick story. Yesterday, I was on my way to my kids' school. They go to a school called the Aquinas Institute, and it was just my son and I in the morning. We were driving. And, he said, Dad, he saw this truck, Gotti Plumbing, right? He goes, yeah, he said, truck, Mr. Gotti. His daughter or son goes to Aquinas, and they are loaded, right? He goes, Dad, I never thought that, there was so much money and like things like that, the trades and plumbing. I said, oh my God, are you kidding me, son? I go, there's tons of money, but Mr. Gotti's not a plumber. He goes, what do you mean? He absolutely is. I said, no, he's not. He's a business owner that owns a plumbing company. And I said, Mr. Gotti or Mr. Arbori, who did our plumbing, you never saw them come over, yank a toilet out and put a new one in, or fishing anything through the drains. They run a marketing business and they employ plumbers, but they didn't start there. Mr. Gotti and Mr. Arbori, they got on their hands and knees many years trying to figure out predictability, duplication, and they got really good at creating systems for their business, systems to acquire clients, and systems for after clients to generate more referrals to stay in contact with them. So they end up building a marketing machine. That is my wish for any real estate agent that truly wants to look at their career path and really leverage their time so they have more time with their family and they're able to retire with sustainability and duplication and get paid into the retirement years. It's to really look at your business and run it like a business. Like my friend Chad Madlam out of Denver, Team Madlam, they're going to do about 200 million this year, real small team. But I mean, Chad sold 5,000 houses before he was 40 years old. And if you sell a lot of houses, obviously you're not doing that by yourself. At a very early age, he figured out scalability and duplication and marketing, and therefore he's able to leverage his time. Chad hasn't been on a listing presentation or sitting down with a buyer showing houses in probably, 5 years or so. And gosh, he's only maybe 41 right now, 42 years old. So, that's the point. That's my hopes for most of you that are watching. You really ultimately want to be the best that you can be. For others, you just really enjoy the grind of real estate. I shouldn't call it the grind, but you just love doing that and you're happy doing that. And if that's making you happy and you and your spouse are able to reach your financial goals, then all the power to you. That's fantastic. But we're going to help. Where it all starts with, is really getting good at what you do. This is the lost art form. It's practicing scripts and role plays. And when you really push comes to shove as salespeople, it's our body language, but it's also our words. I mean, we make money on semantics, So if this is really your moneymaker, why wouldn't we practice our semantics? If Michael Jordan was his moneymaker was his jump shot, why wouldn't he practice his jump shot all the time, right?
Every day.
So this is really the lost art form. Most real estate agents really, because of part of it is because of the way this industry is designed. Brokers have to pay high commissions, 70, 80, 90, 100% commission out. So how much money do they have to pour into duplication and predictability and role plays? And, most real estate offices, people are not congregating together in the morning, role playing and doing those types of things kind of on your own, right? And the top producers very seldomly actually come in the office, right? So the best cultures out there, and I'll reference again Mike Novak, and I'll reference Clayton Getz out of Richmond, Virginia. I mean, these guys have, and I'll bring in the Kane properties down in Naples, Florida. Heather Kane, she was from Texas, went to Naples, Florida, and amazing success. Now, she didn't know a single soul a couple years ago, built amazing business in Texas, took that same model into the Naples, Florida market. She's doing a wonderful job there. Again, great culture. That's what it looks like. And that's why we're doing these things. So I thought I'd start by sharing that story with you and help you to understand, like anything else, like start with what are we trying to accomplish? If we understand the goal and why we're doing these scripts, I I think people will be have deeper buy-in. So John, I'm going to pass the mic to you. I know you got a special guest on today. I know I'm excited. Good to have you on. And if you can do a quick introduction and let's start there today.
Yeah, I'd like to welcome Jennifer Allen. You know, we've been working together here for a long time now. Great person and team lead, you know, trains her agents. Just started with Keller Williams recently. So congratulations again, Jen. So Jen, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, you know, what you do and what your goals are for the year.
Well, good morning. Thanks for having me, first of all. Thanks you.
For coming on, Jennifer.
Thanks. Yeah, I've been in the business 17 years. I do run a team in Cleveland, Ohio. So we are just about to come into our winter months. So when you talk about scripts, it's extremely important for us up here because all of our people want to not put their houses on the market. So we need to understand what scripting means because we need to convince our sellers that this is the time to be on the market. And it's very, very important for us to be prepared to make sure that we have that inventory coming into this season because it's not like some of these, you talked about Naples, you know, they have fantastic weather year round. We don't have that. We don't have that. And many of our sellers only think that it's, you know, springtime is when it's time to put your houses on the market. And it actually isn't. Statistically, they're going to have a better chance actually to sell in the wintertime. But we have to be prepared for that. So I love to hear that you guys are talking about scripting because so many people don't understand that that's really the baseline of what you need to know when you get into this business. So, you know, 17, 18 years later, that is still the core of what we teach everybody when they get into this business. You need to know that. So I love to know that you guys are talking about that today.
Absolutely, Jennifer. You know, to that point, I remember in Florida, now in Naples specifically, Ryan Chido's been a client for 12 years. He does about 50 million in sales, top 10 with Engel and Volker. Very good friend of mine. Came and saw me speak at the Hyatt Coconut Point, Bonita Springs back in 2006. And he's just had an incredible career, an incredible run. And, you know, he and I played golf, you know, going into the real hot summer months. He came up to New York, where he's from, upstate New York, too. He's from Syracuse. And, you know, we were talking as we were playing golf. He goes, you know, Pat, he goes, right now, as the summer months are coming, all the agents are saying, oh, you know, it's going to dry up. You know, no one buys houses in the summer. You know, he goes, I'm going to go down there and absolutely crush it. And he did, you know. And to your point, Jennifer, you know, it's the mindset. If you believe that, you know, people are going to, in their heart, there's, you know, they throw that objection at you, like, yeah, we think we're going to wait till spring, the hot season again, you know, and you got to come back with such a level of conviction and say, no, just the opposite. You know, this is the best time because let everybody else think that. And people still are dying to get in homes. There's so many buyers, right? And you put your house on the market now and everybody else is going to wait. You're going to get multiple offers, you know, and you say that with that level of conviction and excitement. You know, guy, listen, I've been doing this a long time. This is the best time. You know, it's always the best time, right, Jennifer?
That's exactly my point. So that's why I was excited that John asked me to come when this was your topic, because this is everything that we need to know when you're getting into this business. Is there isn't any better time that this is the better time to be on the market or this is the better time to be on the market. It's always a good time to be on the market, but you need to understand how to explain that to the people who are in front of you. And 100%. If you don't know how to do that, then you're going to only be able to be working parts of the time of the year. And that's this business. We wouldn't be here this long. We wouldn't be this successful if we only had 6 months out of the year that we could do business. It wouldn't be that way, right?
Exactly. 100%. Yeah.
Right.
So Jennifer, I have a question for you.
Sure.
You know, we're going to be talking about expired listings and converting expireds. You know, again, these are people that raise their hand. They've tried to sell their house. They're not successful. You know, a little bit different than visible, a little bit different dynamic, right, Jonathan? I mean, you've been doing this for a long time. And, you know, based on your experiences, Jennifer, when you look at expireds and visibles, let's zero in on expireds. What have you seen out there? What are some of the overall attitudes? Are you finding that most people are open and willing to talk? They're just looking for help? Do you find that they're really defensive and angry? Is it a combination? What has been your experience with expireds over the years?
You know, both of those. I agree with you. What you said, both. I actually love expireds. What they tell us is that they do want our help, right? They're already telling you, hey, listen, I'm willing to work with a real estate agent, much like you just said, very different than a for sale by owner, where they a lot of times feel as though they think they know how to do it. So totally different animal. So for expireds, they're like, hey, listen, I want your help. Typically what we've learned by calling on them, working with them, is they usually have two frustrations. They either had lack of communication or lack of marketing, and they probably had marketing. They just didn't have communication. So, right? I mean, that's usually what it is. And, they may not have had the right pricing or the right whole overall program. And again, that goes back to communication. So if you can make sure that you listen to them, hear what they have to say, and then as you're talking to them, listen to those key points of what it was that frustrated them. Make sure that you talk to them about those, deal with those, and then funnel them right back into where they need to get to, and see what those key points are, and make sure that you hone in on those communication points. I have learned over the years, if we come in with a communication plan and a marketing plan, every single time we can get that expired back on the market, focused in the right direction, and get them sold every single time. And you have to follow through. You cannot come in with a song and the dance and not follow through. That is the worst thing that happens. You have to do it. But those people have already indicated that they want you. So you now have to just follow through. That's it. That's it.
Yep.
Be there. Be there. Right?
100%. And as you know, especially with expireds and BSBOs, all the money's made in the follow-up and in the due diligence with them, right? So in the best salespeople, guys, they come across like Jennifer's coming across right now. The best real estate agents are not, slick and, pushing people around and just bullying their way into a sale, because that never makes sales in real estate. You really have to be genuine. You have to take, but you also have to sometimes stand them up in a very polite way and say, that's not the case. And let me explain to you why, then explain it and then tie it down by saying things like, does that make sense now? Yes. Okay, great. So we do have to, you don't want to be that person that it gets bullied around. You're so nice, but you're letting them can kind of control and dictate how it's going to be. You also have to, through questioning, really get them to see it a different way, and then really be patient and kind and sincere, and then tie it down and then take control. Let me tell you what I'd like to do. Boom. And we're going to kind of get into scripting. Any questions for Jennifer?
One thing to your point, a lot of times what we tell the clients when they're coming on board here is that, you don't want to be talking across the table to one of these homeowners. You want to be sitting on the same side of the table as them, getting to know them personally, finding out why they want to move, and then using that as a way to get into talking about, let me help you.
Yeah.
It's not, I just want to get your listing. It's let me help you.
Yeah. That's really what Jennifer was saying too. It's like to bring them back to their why. Why are you doing this? How can I help you get to point B? That's what we talked about the other day, the sales process. The qualify is creating that gap, that chasm. Point A is where they're at. Point B is where they want to go. And when we find out why they want to get there, we'll get a sense for how motivated they are. Right. And then we just got to come in as agents and show, here's the difference between me and Johnny Lunch Bucket Realtor who let this thing expire, right? And we've got to really cover that with clarity. Here are the things you said. So we got to qualify out what that first realtor did, so that we can now look at our marketing plan and say, let me point a couple of things out that we're missing in what this agent was doing. And then we'll talk about communication, integrity, and all the process of getting this thing sold. So
and Jennifer, last thing, what would you say your guys' process is that you teach over there for when you actually go out to the expired, when you finally get that appointment to go out and meet them in person? What do you guys typically do when you get out there?
Well, just like you mentioned, we do let them tell us a little bit without letting them run the show. We know that they need to vent a little bit, so we give them that little quick time, get them off their chest. But just like you guys mentioned, you then need to get them focused back to the topic. You always need to know their why. So we do that first and get that done and over with without bashing anybody who was there previously, but get them to the topic. And you need to know that why, just like John was saying, you guys were bringing up, because you have to keep them going back to that, because nobody moves just because it's fun, right? Oh my gosh, I want to put my house on the market. They always have some big reason associated with it, something that makes it overly stressful, a job, a death, a baby, a marriage, something big going on. So that leads to tons of stress. So you have to find that out. So that's what we're digging for first. And then through that, we're educating them. You have to educate them about this process, because the more that they know, the less that it's going to become those surprises that's going to trigger everything else through the process. So I would rather sit with them for a period of time at the beginning and go through all of that and make sure that we have well-educated sellers. And then we're going to have less of the dramatic things happen through the process, and we can educate them then. So that's what we do when we're with them. And we give them a lot of education at the beginning, and we get them to be our team player, right? We make them know that we're on the same team as them.
Yep.
And then we empower them. We actually empower them to understand that this is about them. It's not about us, it's about them. And we leave them with that. And so we make them part of the process. And that's how we continue to build. And you guys had talked about these people who've been, 50 million, all these things. It's because they get these people to be on their teams and they're working as a team. And that's what it's all about. And knowing that, those people have friends and friends and friends. And when you get them to be engaged like that, you'll stay in this career a long time. So remembering that they're not just that one transaction,
100%.
that's the key,
100%, because I always, when I train real estate agents, again, for 18 years, I always tell them, our goal is not to approach a prospect and look at them as a sale. We don't want just the golden egg. We want to create the goose that lays the golden egg. We want a referring client for life. And that's why I say the expireds and FSBOs, look at, most real estate agents can tell me, what the interesting thing, some of the best friends I have today are a result of me making a phone call, a cold call, and I met this person, and they're now best friends. So if you think about that, like, who's going to be my next best friend? I want to reach out to people because I really may connect with somebody that may be a humongous advocate for me in my business, and I may be for theirs in their lives and their business as well, which is why we teach, our past client advocate system, which we'll do full training on. Maybe we'll start that tomorrow. But Jennifer, what you said is so on point, and that's probably why you're amazingly successful at what you do and will continue to grow, because your heart's in the right spot, but also you understand that with business, it's not just about, having a set of things you want to come across. It's really truly about being a consultant and listening to them and getting it all, like doing a really full qualify. Once you do that, it's all about you helping them get to point B, and serving them. And they sense that, and that's why they choose you. And oftentimes over a friend or somebody that they know, because they're like, man, I'm not even going to bring this to the person my acquaintance that's a realtor, because she was so good and so powerful and her words were so succinct. I've never seen anything like it. We believe that she can help us sell this house, So awesome. Very good comments.
Well, gentlemen, I am sorry, but I actually have to go because I have to go list a house, actually. I really do. So
go list that house.
Awesome. Go get that listing, Jen. Thank you again for joining.
Gentlemen.
I'll talk to you soon.
Press hard, 3 copies, Jen.
Thanks. I'll talk to you later.
All right, we'll see
Bye.
you. So let's dive into the script, and I think what we'll do is expired scripts. Very simple, very easy, right? And I think we have it up on the screen for you guys so you can take a look. I'm just going to go through the script that's in the prospecting playbook that we have for you guys. And we'll just go word for word as if it were a realtor calling on an actual expired listing. So we have the information, whether it's Landvoice or whatever account. We always recommend Landvoice. I just think they're a fantastic organization. I was on their CEO yesterday, Sean. He's just a fantastic guy.
Leads.
Yep. So so let's start there. Then we'll do the ISA. So if you have an ISA or you want to know what our ISAs do, we'll give you guys 2 perspectives. So I'll role play with you. I'll be the agent. You'll be the consumer.
Okay.
Ring, ring. Hello.
Hi.
Hello, John.
Yeah, this is John.
Hey, John. Pat Fenton giving you a call. We don't know each other, but I'm just calling because I see that your house is expired with your current agent. I've been very interested in your home over the last several weeks, but I just wondered if you had a quick minute for me.
Yeah,
okay.
Definitely.
All right, perfect. Well, I'm an agent myself, and I've been keeping an eye on your home, like I said, for the last several weeks. And when I did some due diligence on the property, it's a beautiful home, by the way. I was just curious if you have a moment. In your opinion, it's baffling to me. Why do you think your house didn't sell? Let's start there.
Well, honestly, it was on the market for 6 months, and I think I talked to my real estate agent 3 times.
Got it.
I didn't really see much out of him. He came over, sold me really hard, on the listing appointment, made it seem like he was the best thing since sliced bread, and then I didn't hear from him.
Okay. Your last agent, did they kind of go through a thorough marketing plan? Do you feel like they didn't really do and execute some of the things in that marketing plan, or do you feel like the marketing plan in and of itself really wasn't very strong?
No, it seemed strong. Maybe I don't know because I'm not a professional, but he said he was going to put it on Facebook. He said he was going to put it on the MLS. And, I never even saw a Facebook post.
Yeah.
So it just leads me to believe that he got the listing and was just hoping someone would sell it for him.
And did you get a fair amount of traffic coming in? Did you actually get some offers or?
At first, yeah, we had a couple of people come through, but they were definitely giving me lower offers than what I expected. And I just couldn't accept that.
Okay. So is there anything about the house without me actually seeing it, which I'd love to actually swing by, and I'll talk about that in a minute, but anything about the house that would, if I went through it, somebody would say, oh my gosh, I really liked it until I saw that, or anything like that inside the house?
No, there's no issues. We already had it pre-inspected just to make sure everything was fine. But yeah, there's nothing wrong with the house. I think it's a beautiful home. If we weren't moving to Florida, I'd pick it up and move it with me.
That's where I was going to ask you next. What is it motivating you guys to sell this house? Where you're trying to get to Florida?
Yeah.
Right.
My family's down there, grandkids. I'm tired of missing birthdays. So, I'm just going to move down there.
Okay. So if I was able to help you sell that house in the next 30 days, that'd make you happy?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just curious because some expireds, they just throw it out there. They're really just testing the waters. And a lot of times that happens when the house is, from maybe a set of siblings where we had a spouse or a parent die and they inherited the house and there's really no motivation to actually sell it. That's not the case here. I'll tell you what I'd like to do. I'd like to come by and take a look at the house. I don't know if I can help you. I don't know. I do know that I have a strong marketing plan. I know that my marketing plan is unique. There's a couple of things that I do that are really, really strong. When I say strong, I mean what certain things that I will do to guarantee that I'll sell the house. Again, if I believe I can sell, we'll talk about that when I see you. But get an assessment first, and if I can help you, I'll tell you why and how. And if I can't, I'll tell you that too. Does that sound fair with you?
Yeah, that all sounds good, Pat. Yeah. But honestly, I still have a bad taste in my mouth from the last agent. I just don't feel like I can trust anyone yet.
Yeah, but the fact of the matter still remains, you still have to get to Florida and you still have to sell this house, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Okay. And just so you know, I work with a lot of expireds. I understand and completely empathize actually how you feel. I know I would feel the same way if I were in your shoes. Give me a little bit of rope. I would like to come there. And once I take a look at the house, I'm going to show you some really unique things and strategies that I do that go above and beyond what most agents are able to do financially. I don't know if you know this, but most agents really, they only do about 5 transactions per year. So it takes capital, knowledge,
How many
resources.
Transactions did you do, Pat?
Yeah, so last year I've done 45 transactions and
Really?
In the marketplace, which around here makes me the top 5%.
Yeah.
And but that's neither here nor there. It doesn't matter what I did. What we think it matters is what I can do for you. Would you agree with that?
Definitely agree with that.
So I'd like to share with you why and how I'm able to do that, and we'll go from there. Sound fair?
Fair.
Great. How does 5 o'clock this afternoon look for you? I'm going to be in about 10 minutes from your house, about 4 o'clock, but 5 o'clock would be ideal for me. Does that work for you?
Let's go with 5:30 because the wife gets home at 5.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. So awesome, man. Well, I got to tell you something, John. Number one, I appreciate you listening to me. I'm really excited to see your home, but I take expireds personal, and for me, I have a 99% rate of selling houses at the fair market value price. And I don't take that lightly. I take that very serious. To me, that's failure, and so we'll put together a good game plan and we'll go from there. Sound good?
Sounds good.
Awesome. I'll see you at 5:30 today.
Thanks,
pal. Right. So, it's just talk to them, and remind them when they throw up objections, guys, they're just upset, and
it's all emotion.
Yeah, exactly. So they just really looking for reassurance. Go reassure them, overcome it, go back to it. And so you can see I didn't look at the script, but I followed the script. And with scripting, once you get a script down, what's cool about it is you can kind of go off it a little bit, but you have to have a train track, because if you go off it a little bit and you add some flavor to it,
you got to be able to get back.
You come back it and take them down to it.
That's how we teach them upstairs. All the ISAs. That's how they're trained, is to memorize the script, get it internalized, and then from there you can start taking the conversation to other areas. But always make sure you're coming back and staying on track to get to that closing. Yeah, and a lot of those getting off track is, again, some peppering in rapport building. And rapport, if I sat there and tried to build 5 minutes of rapport with a stranger, an expired listing, my God, I get the phone and he'd hang up on me, or she would hang up on me. So you have to kind of get to the point early, ask a couple questions, and then go right to it. But then you can pepper rapport building throughout. Right. And then once I book the appointment, what I recommend, what I teach people is, now build rapport. John, are you from the area? You got heading to Florida. What part of Florida are you going to, man? I owned a place in Deerfield Beach, Florida, A1A in Hillsborough. Where are you guys going?
you know, so you can start having those conversations, you know, and building some rapport, making them feel comfortable with you. So that's a script if you are an agent. And again, this is part of the prospecting playbook, which is going into publishing today. It's going to look so awesome. And they're going to take the handwriting and the scripting and everything that Isaiah and I have been working so hard on and make this thing, really package it and design it so it's really, really awesome. And I'm so excited about that. But let's do an ISA role play.
Yeah.
So you're an ISA. If you have an ISA and you want to have them listen in or watch what our ISAs do, because they're highly successful at booking appointments for real estate agents, and I thought you'd get a glimpse of that as well. So you ready to role play? So if you were calling, let's just say I'm the consumer, obviously, and you're calling on behalf of, you know, Jim Smith, the realtor.
You want to do Jennifer Allen?
Jennifer Allen. You got it. Perfect.
All right. So, hi, I was looking for Pat.
This is he. Who's this?
Hi, Pat. This is John Lehman. I was just giving you a quick call about your property, 123 Main Street. Did you end up selling it?
No.
Oh, okay. I saw it came off the market. Is it still contracted with an agent or on the MLS?
No, it's expired.
Oh, it's completely expired. Okay. Okay. Well, I was reaching out to you today, Pat, for Jennifer Allen's real estate office. She wanted me to reach out and get some information just to see how we might be able to help you get the property sold. And it looked like a gorgeous home. I'm really surprised it didn't sell. Why do you think that is?
If I knew the answer to that, it'd be sold.
Oh, yeah. Do you feel like your agent did enough to get enough buyers in there? Like, were you seeing any traction on the home?
No.
Nothing?
No.
Oh, wow. Okay. So you're a little stressed out, aren't you?
What can I help you with?
Well, we just want to see how we might be able to help you get this home sold, Pat, because I can tell in your voice that you're really upset that this thing didn't sell. So, I mean, if I was able to help you get this property sold, that would at least be worth a conversation, right?
How are you going to help me sell my property?
Well, Jennifer is one of the top real estate agents in your area. She has a very strong marketing plan. And to that point, she sells more real estate in that area than most of your agents do. And I'm starting to feel like maybe your agent just, you know, didn't have the marketing or didn't communicate with you well enough to get that property sold. Do you remember any tidbits of their marketing plan?
I mean, we did some open houses. It appeared like they tried everything. They did the open houses. They were obviously on the MLS. I mean, other than that, I really couldn't tell you, you know, what they did, you know, to drive traffic, but really disappointed in the number of people that came through. Open houses were bare, and we got 2 offers, and they were a joke.
Okay. So you got 2 offers. I take it they were just too low for you to even consider them, right?
Yeah, my agent tried getting me to price drop, but I know what I need to get out of this thing to sell it.
You know what? You will see that a lot with your typical agent. We call that a sign in yard agent. And that means that they put it on the MLS, they put a sign in the yard, and then they hope that someone else sells the property. And then when they can't, they want you to drop the price of the home because they don't care about you and why you want to sell it. They just care about getting a commission check at the end of the day. Now, that's the difference in level of communication that you get with Jennifer. You know, Jennifer doesn't just take listings just to take them. She doesn't need the business, but she is in the business of helping people. So if I was able to have Jennifer come out and take a look at your home, go through a really strong marketing plan, something different that you've never seen before.
Why don't you just get her out and have her tell me over the phone what she can do, and I'll make the decision so I don't waste my time.
We could do that, Pat, but honestly, I want you to have all the information. I want her to be able to see the home because you deserve to get a real value of what your home could sell for. And she won't be able to do that until she actually walks through it and sees the home. You know, and at the end of the day, the most important thing is getting the most out of this home, right?
Yeah, fine. I'll give her 15 minutes.
Okay, so why don't I have her come over today at 5 unless 6 would work better?
Yeah, make it 6.
6, okay. And Pat, honestly, all I ask is that if Jennifer comes out there and you like her marketing plan and you feel like she could confidently get your home sold, that you would just keep an open mind to listing the property with her. Is that fair?
No, I'll be open as long as she can articulate how she's going to be different than every other real estate agent that's out there.
She'll come over with a marketing plan. She'll come over with a CMA, and then she'll actually come over with a net sheet so that you can see what you would walk away with if she sold the property. Okay.
Yep. Fair enough.
Okay. And if you don't mind me asking, you know, you said you were going to be moving out of state. Why don't we dive into that a little bit? Do you have like family out there, or?
Yeah. So no, just friends.
Just friends.
Yeah.
Okay.
Listen, I gotta go, man.
Oh, you gotta go.
Yeah. Send Jennifer over and we'll take a look at it.
All right. Well, we look forward to speaking with you, Pat. Have a good day.
Thanks, you too. Right. So I was hard. I was being a hard ass, like, because you're gonna get those from time to time. And notice that John didn't rush his tempo. Right. Now, the only adaptation I would make at that, once you book that appointment, get the off the phone. You know what I mean? Don't dive into more qualify if you got the appointment secured. That's the only change I would make to that. Once you get the appointment, get your butt off the phone. Thank you very much. Really excited. And I hope you have an awesome day, you know, especially if you know that I was short, you know what I mean? And then I saw something there and then boom, once I get that appointment, book it. So, you know, great job, by the way. So it's just, again, guys, that's just an example. We're calling out, we're using logic, we're diving in, we're asking questions, and then we're taking to appointment. I always say, make sure you have the Louisville Slugger at all times that you can bring out, that Billy Club, okay? And what does that mean? Those are your UVPs. Those are your unique value propositions, because if they balk, if they're throwing up all these objections, if they're short, I can break out with my UVPs, right? And I say, John, can I just net things out for you right now? I'm going to talk to you about 2 things that I do that you won't find that very few agents in the country do. May I share that with you? Yes, great. First thing I do is a 39-day guarantee. I come and take a look at that property. I do a thorough CMA, and I bring out my net sheet, and we talk price, and we really understand what is it going to take to sell this house. Then I talk about my marketing plan. If I look at your house and we take my marketing plan, I'm going to guarantee you, based on certain criteria, and we'll talk about that when I see you, that I will sell that house inside of 39 days, or I work for free. Do you like the sounds of that so far?
Yeah.
The second thing I do is a communication and performance guarantee, meaning if I don't communicate with you, if I don't execute my marketing plan and do everything I said I was going to do, the way you hold me accountable is you get out of that contract without any cost to you at any time. Why? How am I able to do that? Those are the things I want to cover one-on-one with you, because it's the strength of my marketing plan and my knowledge of the local market real estate that empowers me with the ability to offer you those 2 things. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Fantastic. How do you look at 5 o'clock today?
5 o'clock looks good.
I'll see you at 5 then.
All right.
Right? So, you know, it's again, those are just a couple examples of a UVP, but you really have to give thought to your UVP. And a lot of them are just semantics and psychology, right? Because if you know the average turnaround is 25 days in a particular neighborhood, you know what? If you are going to put your money where your mouth is. Now, what the beauty of that, once you actually do get there, there are certain things that go along with that 39-day guarantee. It has to be professionally staged. It has to be the price that I recommend that is fair market value, right? And other things that have got to go into that 39-day guarantee. And so that's number 1. Performance guarantees, the same thing.
Performance guarantees are huge.
Like my buddy Chad does that, and nobody calls them back because they actually sell houses really quick. Do a good job with marketing, you know.
And the biggest one you said is the communication guarantee, because a lot of times that is the biggest pain point for an expired listing.
Yeah. A lot of a lot of people fall victim to. Got them to say yes to me. There's a marketing engine. I'm going to get a couple buyers off that listing, and if I can do that and I get offers, I'm very passive. The 4 things that people want from their real estate agent is communication, integrity, assertiveness, and a strong marketing plan. And once you can articulate those 4 things to people, and then we're going to talk about that in the listing presentation when we get there, you'll hit a home run. So it's 9:35. We've extended a little bit beyond. So we brought Jennifer on, which I'm so glad we did. Thank you for having her, buddy.
Of course.
You did a great job as always. And where are we going from here? Well, we're going to go into responding to buyer lead scripts. So a buyer came off of either a sign. We'll talk about that script in responses and rebuttals. We'll talk about internet leads, Zillow leads. So when you get a lead that's cold and a buyer, what do you say to them, and how do you overcome those objections? And maybe John and maybe somebody else, if you have time, I'd love to have you back on the show. And as always, guys, have an awesome weekend. Love up on your family. Do the activity. Commit to greatness. Commit to practice. And I tell you, this is the lost art form. Clayton Getz always said this: if you take care of the mornings, the afternoons always take care of themselves. And I suggest you work the phones from 9 to noon every single day. If you take care of the mornings, the afternoons will always take care of themselves. Peace out, guys. Have an awesome day. This is Coach Pat and John signing out. Take care.